Hello and welcome to the Transatlantic Pop, Episode 3, only on the Main Event Wrestling Network. So before we get into everything, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the Main Event Wrestling Network. We are on the road to 400 subscribers. So many amazing podcasters, bloggers, vloggers, live shows, wrestling shows here only on the Main Event Wrestling Network. But this is the Transatlantic Pop. I am your first host. I am Elder Sam of the Sam's on Wrestling YouTube channel, where you can see us every Tuesday, every Thursday, and every Sunday at 6 p.m. UK time. And before I introduce my beautiful host here, I'm going to get into what we're going to look at in this episode today. We are going to, first of all, discuss what is a WWE lifer. We've got Sami Zayn, just the concept of Sami Zayn. Is CM Punk a hypocrite? As well as a whole month reload. Going to look at the whole of the month of wrestling. We'll have a memoriam, and then JGold might supply us with maybe a forgotten star at the end. But there's a reason he's allowed me to talk for 1 whole minute, because they know full well he's got a beautiful voice. It's sing-songy. When he starts talking, little animals land on his shoulder, and he knows full well that if he doesn't let me talk at the beginning, no one's going to listen to me the minute he opens his mouth. The host of the IW Guide, as well as the NXT Night Shift. It's JGold, everybody.
Hello. It is 7:30 Eastern Standard Time in America right now. So I woke up about 7 minutes ago.
As you're recording this.
Yes, as I'm recording, I woke up about 7 minutes ago, and I am ready to go. I spent last night eating Chinese food. My brother has been staying with me. His name is Sam too. So he's been staying with me, and it's been a week. We've watched a lot of wrestling. We've watched a lot of wrestling, and this weekend in the States is Absolution weekend for AIW. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot to talk about. A ton of crap went down this week, and I am very excited to get into it, Sam.
If I'm being perfectly honest, I have not watched a lot of wrestling because there's a World Cup.
I watched the World Cup. I did the whole thing. I started a new job, Sam, and we are a UK-based organization, and so we watched every game, and they're actually Burnley supporters.
Oh, so not far away from where I used to live.
They're the sleeve sponsor for Burnley.
Have you discovered how much this is a much better sport?
I love. I'm a Spurs guy. I've been watching soccer since 2006. I love English football. I love it.
I'll tell you what, it's been a good World Cup, as much as everything around it hasn't been particularly great, but we're not here to talk about that. I've got Wimbledon. We've got a British wild card. As of right now, is in the semi-final. Obviously, when this comes out, Wimbledon would have finished, so by then he's probably out.
I think that's the one sport I never.
Champion. I don't know.
I don't know, Sam. That's the one sport I never got into, was tennis. I can't do it. I can't sit and watch it. I get no enjoyment out of it.
I'm one of those tennis fans who can get into it if there's a British guy to get behind.
Yeah, you support your country, which is good. And I'll do the same. I just, not for tennis. I care so little for tennis. Actually, this week was the Scottish Open, so I watched that for golf. And then we have the British Open.
Yes.
The week this drops, and it's one of my favorite tournaments on the planet, so I can't wait for that to start.
I think it's in Southport. I think.
Is that where it is? I have to see so. Where.
And I've literally just been there.
Really?
I went there yesterday. We were going on little beach tours. So I've just been there.
I think so. Let's see. So this one is the British Open is in at Royal Birkdale.
I think Royal Birkdale is in Southport, isn't it?
Let's see. Location. It's a good thing we have computers nowadays. Yes. It is in Royal Birkdale in Southport. You're right. Merseyside, England.
I literally just drove past it. It's a lot quieter.
Now the Merseyside Derby, is that Liverpool? Liverpool.
Yeah,
okay.
Not far from Southport in the grass.
Right. So I know that. That's how I know that name from watching every Saturday and Sunday morning when the EPL is on. So.
But this is a wrestling podcast.
It can be. It can be whatever we want, Sam. We could just edit it and post, as they say.
If anyone we've never read any of these. If anyone is new to what we do, it's just two blokes who generally don't know how to stay on topic. I've told you what we might run down, but there will be tangents. There will 100% be. Have you ever heard of the comedian Ross Noble?
Oh, the name sounds familiar. If I saw his face, I'd probably be able to say
He's a British comedian from Newcastle, but he does a lot in Australia because he's got an Australian wife. He does shows that are around 2 to 2.5 hours long. So
it's a lot of comedy. Yeah.
He has nothing planned. Zero. He walks on stage and improvises, right? So he will riff with the audience, he'll bring things off, and he can just take one small thing and it'll be off on a massive tangent, right, for ages. And he is known to tangents. He will literally start a story, start something else and go, remind me to come back to that story, and he'll come back about an hour later. Honestly, if you ever want to just watch something that's just magically special, go and watch Ross Noble. They're all over YouTube. And,
I mean, I'll definitely check that out on YouTube. I love the fact that we can find things like that in YouTube. It's great. Yeah.
So what has your thoughts been on what has been quite an eventful month, really?
This week alone already ticked me off, but didn't. I'm curious as to where we're supposed to go across all TV wrestling after this week. Brand new world champion with CM Punk, brand new champion with Kenny Omega, brand new champions with Division winning the titles back after you strip the best probably tag team you had of the belts. It's just a weird time. I don't understand it feels the summer is supposed to be the time to build towards the big, all in, all out SummerSlam, all those big shows. And yet on Monday Night Raw, you get a new champion. On Dynamite, you get a new champion. I just don't understand what happened this week. I don't know where it all went.
I've got a few theories, weirdly. I think Triple H has been sick and tired of being told he's predictable. I think that's one thing. I think he's got a bit sick and tired of it. And one of the best ways to stay unpredictable is to do title changes. I have no problem with title changes. I think a lot of people are now sick of these long title reigns that have happened after we've been clamoring them for so long. They've kind of overdone them. I have no problem with someone losing the title after 7 days. I actually don't mind it in the grand scheme of things. All the time, problem. But having those small little oh my God, they've done this thing. I have no problem with it. And I actually thought it was more shocking to take the titles off the Street Profits than it would have been if the Vision had stayed champions and then they get screwed out of the titles. That made the screwing even bigger. It made Maxine's turning bigger. We'll talk about it when we get into Raw, but I've liked it. But I'll talk about the AEW one.
Yeah.
I'm pretty certain that was the plan all along, because they want to do, and they've been wanting to do for a long time. And I think they've realized they've got to stop wasting time in AEW because everyone's getting old and broken. They want to do Ospreay Omega. And they've been wanting to do that since they both got there. They've wasted time. They both got injured. Ospreay was out for a long time. Kenny was out for a long time. It will main event the All In show. So they're going to go for that. Have you heard about the ticket sales for the All In show and for SummerSlam? Have you heard about that?
I think you were telling me about this.
No. I mean of this week. Information from this week.
No, I haven't heard anything this week.
We'll start with SummerSlam. SummerSlam is nowhere near selling out.
Well, that I know. Yeah. And
you can say, "Oh, it's so far away." I'm like, it's SummerSlam. It's not like it's a random pay-per-view. It's SummerSlam. That's a real red flag. That is that they're not even half for each night. That's really bad.
It's also in Minnesota. There's not not my favorite place to have wrestling in a cold weather state that has a dome. I think the visual needs to be outdoors in a warm weather. You're supposed to feel it and that just goes back to there should never be 2 nights of any pay-per-view. So
no. And the weird thing, the one that should have 2 nights is the Royal Rumble. That's the one they don't have 2 nights for. That's the one.
There should never be 2 nights of the Royal Rumble. One night.
What going to do it? That's the one that makes the most sense. You have 2 Royal Rumbles, it'd be fine. But the All-In one right now, this is obviously is still quite far away, 6-7 weeks away.
When's All In? Is that the end of August?
Literally the end of August, 30th of August, I believe.
All right.
And they've just done a 50% sale. They've just dropped everything to 50% after Kenny just won the title. So for the next couple of weeks, I think it's 2 weeks maybe, all ticket sales for All In are at 50%. They haven't even they're not even they're about 20 odd something thousand at Wembley at the moment. Wembley's a 90,000 seat stadium. Obviously take out stuff for the stage and all that jazz.
It's still a 90,000 seat stadium. If you take out the stage, it still should fit 90,000.
It should, but let's say 80,000 just to be generous. They ain't even going to get. I don't think they're going to get to 40.
Let's say something controversial, Sam. Let's do this.
I like controversy.
Wrestling is in a down spiral. Not even a spiral. I think it's at the bottom right now. This is where in 2019 we were at, where you had half empty arenas. You had people disappointed in what was going on. I think right now, I just think there's an indifference. I don't think it's a
new nail head bang. Yes, like it's not bad. The reason 1995 was not selling any tickets and the reason 2019 was not selling any tickets is because the product was unwatchable.
It was bad.
This product isn't unwatchable.
Right.
Unnoteworthy.
Yes, it is an unremarkable malaise right now and people are not, they don't care. And there's nothing bringing you out. Like even when AEW started, the reason AEW was so hot was because it was new. WWE was
so bad.
Yeah, and then it pushed WWE and Vince left and Triple H started being creative and you saw stuff. Then the TV contracts came up and then everybody started to get complacent again. Yeah. And now you're looking at, and now AEW is in a complacency area where people just don't, it's not that they do, and I'm not people call me a hater. It's not a hater. Yeah. They're just not doing anything that's moving the needle. No. WWE is now settled into an advertised base snooze fest. Right. And they're not doing anything to move the needle either. There's nothing going on. Unless you give Obafemi the title tomorrow, there is nothing moving the needle on the TV, on the websites, nothing. There's nothing going on right now.
It's one of those things where being almost indifferent, is way worse than being bad.
Right.
At least when you're bad, there's something to criticize, and people will come back to be horrible, especially in this modern society. People just, if you see the reviews of Supergirl, like...
I saw Supergirl. I went to it.
It's really good fun.
I had fun. It's a fun movie. It's not great, but it's fun. Yeah.
It's fine. I had fun. She was a really good actress in it. I thought she played the character really well. I mean, the British girl in it is an abomination, and she should shut up the entire time. But it's fine. It's fine. But based on reviews, you'd think it was the worst thing that's ever happened in the history of ever. And that's where we are right now as a society. We're a negative, vile, horrible society. And I like us to be more kind to people.
Well, but you said it's fine. But fine, you said the movie was fine. Fine is not good.
Also true. But
that's a big problem.
I'm saying the way they're reviewing it. I'm getting to my point. The way they're reviewing it is making it seem like it's the worst. The way people are reviewing WWE making it seem like it's the worst. And I'm like, it's really not. Like, WWE is not bad right now. AEW is not bad. I'd actually argue AEW has been quite good very recently. The problem is you've got two things. WWE don't need to rock the boat. They're making so much money, and TKO love money. That's all they care about, that they just want to keep it ticking over with their main eventers because they see it as a sport, okay? And the biggest, the best will always be on top. That's not how wrestling works.
Right.
It's a soap opera. It's a storyline. Eventually, we get bored because we know it's not real.
Right.
When someone's on top all the time, it's not because they're the best fighter. It's because they were in the enjoyable big number one, and now they're not. I think people are malaise to Roman Reigns as much as they were. I think they're
right.
Inside the arenas, they're not, because they get to see Roman Reigns. But the arena does not reflect a TV. It never has done. AEW is the biggest example of this. If you ever go to any AEW show, and I recommend, if you've never been to an AEW show, go. Because for a start, the tickets are good. But second of all, inside the arena, it's some of the most fun you can have.
It's a lot of fun.
Live is amazing. AEW on television never has been. Not really.
Well, you can't listen to Tony Schiavone and to I just can't listen to Excalibur, and it just doesn't work. I just, that's my problem on TV.
So how can AEW fix their problem? Well, they can do two things, right, that can fix them, because they're doing good stuff right now in the grand scheme of things, right? Well, three things. The three things. First of all, gut your roster. Gut it. Stop it. I know you want to do that thing where you're like, no, we bring you in, we keep you to your contract. I get that. But it means that either people are at home or you're trying to cram everyone onto TV and eventually it loses its stuff. So gut your roster. That's the first thing. Second thing is pick an identity and stick with it. Because if you go where the best wrestle and the amount of people you see online who are like, the best wrestle, we don't have these rubbish storylines. And then you see silly storylines that AEW do that are just as silly as WWE, you're like, you can't have one with the other. You can't have MJF be your world champion 3 times and go, we're all about wrestling. Because MJF is definitely not all about wrestling. You can't have Swerve Strickland and Hangman go through a rivalry where they light each other's house on fire and go, look, we're just about wrestling. No, you're not. Stop pretending that's what you are.
That's a really good point.
You're an entertainment show. So pick an identity. Either only focus on wrestling, and there's a reason they don't, because that is the niche of the niche within wrestling, or actually admit that you're an entertainment program that has entertaining things and brilliant wrestlers. The problem with the brilliant wrestlers concept is everyone's a brilliant wrestler now.
Yeah.
You can't be a bad wrestler anymore unless you've got something really special about you, or you're old and you've got the history. Like, literally give it 5 more years and you're Usos and LA Knights.
It's like MMA. If you're not well-rounded and you can't do everything, you can't be on, in MMA anymore, because
they proved that with Brock Lesnar, didn't they? Best wrestler. Didn't want to be punched.
Right, everybody can do everything now. So in AEW, that's the truth. And my one thing to you about AEW, and I hate coming off, I know everybody loves saying that I'm an AEW hater. I just don't watch it because I don't get a lot out of it. My one problem is this: Omega Ospreay. So I love MJF, and I think they're better when MJF is the champion. Omega Ospreay.
I'm hearing injuries, but let's just say he's not injured.
That's fine. But my one thing is this. And if you were going to build Omega versus MJF, so Omega can face Ospreay at All In or whatever it is, Omega Ospreay is 2 years too late, or 3 years too late. Kenny is both of them are beaten down, broken, injured, surgeried up. Like, this is like seeing, if I said back in the day Undertaker Sting, and they did the match in 2013, let's say.
Yeah, WrestleMania 27 was the plan, wasn't it? So
yeah, by then, let's say 2015, 16, even when Sting wrestled Triple H at WrestleMania and his hair was all, it was too late.
The old little nest egg.
Yeah, so my problem is now, I think this is how Omega Ospreay feels to me, and not because of Ospreay, but because of poor Kenny Omega, who has been through the ringer physically, and I don't know if I'm telling you another reason why you're not selling tickets to Wembley is because this match is 3-4 years too late. And that's the only thing, my issue.
It's only just turned up, so the match wasn't being advertised, which is fine. But the problem when you have a massive show, WrestleMania has the name and it's got the build, it will sell. Even in Vegas, it still sold tickets, right? Sort of thing, because of name. At the end of the day, it was selling badly, but it still had sold like 50,000 tickets at the end of the day, right? For astronomical prices. All In hasn't got that yet. And the problem is the Wembley first one was so special because it was like they'd come back to Wembley since 1992. The second one, less special. They realized that was a problem, so they took a year out. Didn't sell Texas either. And then they've come back again to Wembley. And the problem is, I don't think the appetite's there. I don't think people realize that AEW isn't that big in England because of the way it's portrayed on TV. You'd have to go and buy the whatever it is, Thriller or whatever it's on.
Right.
Or you have to watch it not live on ITV like 2 or 3 days later. And it's been so long since I've even looked into it from a when is it on? Because my brain goes, if I want to watch AEW, I have to go on to ITVX and just click on when it turned out. So I can't watch it live if I wanted to. And I'll give you the third problem, Sam, and this is the third problem with AEW. And this has been my thing that I've been saying since day one. Their marketing is awful.
It's awful. It's awful.
It's so bad. If you want to bring new fans in, you have to learn to market. One, pick an identity. It goes back to identity. You can't market an identity if you haven't got one. Okay. But at the same, like, as much as bad as WWE is, you can't say it doesn't have an identity. Everybody's
when you say identity, it's every television show. It's every time a kid gets into a fight on TV and it's in a sitcom, they're like, what do you think? This is some kind of WWE? Like, it's in the lexicon. So if AEW wants to get in there, first of all, when was the last time you saw an AEW shirt in the wild? I was sitting in Penn Station going home the other day. The guy standing next to me in a CM Punk tank top, best in the world. There's always somebody wearing WWE merchandise everywhere.
I was at an AEW All-In show and I see more WWE merch than I see AEW.
That should have been recognized. And we're right now we're just rehashing and regurgitating what we've seen, but that should have been recognized year 2 of AEW when they realized that Pro Wrestling Tees couldn't keep up and they have to get some sort. Maybe AEW should sign a deal with Fanatics. You want stuff to be pumped out? What's wrong with just getting a Fanatics experience and having AEW? I understand Fanatics to me is one of the worst companies as far as quality. But at least they can manage the volume. You remember and I'm sure you remember this going to a show, an AEW show, and you're like, I can't get anything. Why can't I get anything? Why do you have 6 shirts? 3 of them are the same guy. That has always been an issue. Even the Main Event Network does a better job of pumping out T-shirts and logos than AEW. They do an awful job, and you're 100% right. An awful job of getting stuff out.
I wasn't expecting to start the show with AEW, but I think.
Well, I think we're getting to the title. You know, there's a lot of title changes, and it just brings up stuff because, you know, for you over there, it's not as like in your face as it is here because a Wednesday night, Saturday night is always AEW, you know, around, and but people always have a comment. So
I'd also point out Saturday night is a terrible night for regular wrestling. Pay-per-view, perfect for pay-per-view because it's an event. So, but generally speaking, Saturday here is football and in this country and stuff like that. So it's just going to get drowned out. Whereas if you put it on a Sunday, for example, and that was your regular shop, they don't want to do that because that's their pay-per-view day. Sunday, football ends at like 7 o'clock, something like that. So whereas Saturday night, it's on.
I'll tell you, you're gonna get this Saturday. I mean, if I was AEW in this country, I would say forget it. They're doing Collision, but you have England. What's it called? Norway.
This is from 2 days ago. This is 2 days ago.
Yeah. So this Saturday that was just past. Sorry, England, Norway. You can't do Collision, and don't expect to have anybody watching it because you have games. You have 2 games on Saturday.
Yeah.
For the World Cup, like you're hurting yourself and your build to All In when you have to go up against the World Cup. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, I just wouldn't go anywhere near Saturday because that's when WWE does their pay-per-views as well. So literally once a month you get absolutely canned, as well as they do Saturday night's main event as well. And
next week in New York, by the way.
As an example.
I might try to go because Danhausen is here. I just got my Danhausen Jalen Brunson collab t-shirt and from Fanatics, which I thought would never come because they never deliver on time, but they did. They were right on time this time. So, but Danhausen is being advertised all over Manhattan as, you know, everybody knows Danhausen is coming to MSG next week, and he was the reason the Knicks won the championship, and everybody loves Danhausen in New York. So
another example of AEW not knowing how to market something.
Ball dropped. That's the end. They dropped it. They had it. They were like this. I got it. I dropped it. It's over.
The amount of people who say that, WWE just pick up AEW people, you know, they do all the build. I'm like, yeah, that's what happens when you're the number one. You go to the minor leagues, and if you don't want to feel like the minor leagues, you need to use your stars and build them up, right? Like, how many people have moved from WWE to AEW who wasn't a star, as it were,
and became a star?
Became a star. All I've got is Swerve. That's it.
Yeah. Wait, let's do this. Let's play this game. Hold on. Let's play this game because this is a good one. All right. Let's think about the other direction. Okay. So let's go. One direction was Cody. Cody is now the face. Cody is the Hulk Hogan of WWE.
Erased from where
he was elevated 1,000,000%. Even you go to Punk when he came back, the pop was even larger than what it was when he first came in AEW. Then you have give me a few more. Blake Monroe.
All the people have moved to NXT to build them up.
Yes.
Give them a new package and stuff.
Ethan Page, Ricky Saints. They're all massive now.
Rusev is, even though he's in the mid card, he's in a way better.
People still love him again. Yeah, they're back to loving Rusev.
He's on TV every week.
He's not the best man or the gamer friend, which didn't make any sense to begin with.
No. Penta.
Penta and Ray Phoenix, who is now the AAA Mega Champion or whatever.
Why? We said this last time. Put Ray Phoenix on TV for 10 or 15 minutes. He'll get over. Oh, look what's happening. He's
over. Yeah, so let's go the other direction. Let's do it. So Cope and Christian are the champs, but does anybody really care?
No, that's a lower down. But that's a
FTR. FTR?
I would argue FTR, definitely. I'd put them on there.
They became one of the best tag teams ever by going over to AEW.
We knew that. They were used badly in WWE is the problem.
At the end, yeah.
I see them the same as Rusev. Like, you had a person, you just used them really badly. We know they were brilliant. But
what about Ciampa?
FTR, Ciampa, no, not yet.
Not yet.
Same boat.
Like, so the megastars they made was Swerve. That's the megastar. Yeah.
Swerve is it. And even people they've taken up, how many people have they taken from a lower position in WWE? And there was plenty that they took from lowers, you know, their NXT releases.
Athena.
I don't see Athena as being raised because she's on a behind a paywall.
She's never on TV, right?
Never on
All
TV.
Right.
So this is
Mercedes.
Mercedes Moné, is she really bigger than she was in WWE? I would say she's in the exact.
Oh, I got one. Toni Storm.
Toni Storm is the next person I was going to say. We've got, me and Baby Sam have just done our top 10 favorite AEW wrestlers. It will be out closer to All In. And we discussed this, and Toni Storm and Swerve is all we've got.
Wait, I had another one on the top of my head. Mox.
No, world champion in WWE was big. He just gets freedom in AEW. Again, I wouldn't say he's been raised. This is the thing, we're talking about raising.
Really? You don't think he was elevated, and he elevated AEW when he showed up? He didn't feel like an even bigger deal when he showed up in AEW?
I felt Chris Jericho I would more praise for that.
No way. No way.
In the initial phase, yeah. But anyway, you see my point, though? Like, yeah. I feel like AEW but here's the main thing that you're naming all these people who, in my eyes, were already stars.
Okay.
Toni Storm and Swerve were not.
We're not. Okay. Yeah.
Mercedes Moné, even if she is slightly bigger in AEW, they're profiting off a big name. That's why I wouldn't use Cody Rhodes, but Cody Rhodes has been elevated to the number one in the face, so it is a bit different.
No, Cody went up, went from the top floor to the penthouse. Yeah. That was elevated.
So I would use him as well, but I was like, he already is kind of a star.
But you're right. No one else. I'd say Swerve and Toni Storm, and that's pretty impressive that Toni Storm became the most massive women's wrestler on the planet at one point.
Didn't use her properly anyway, because did she main event any pay-per-views?
Right.
No, because they don't do that sort of thing. And it's very frustrating to me, because I watch AEW and I get frustrated because I go, you are better. You could be and should be better. But I still don't feel like you are. I feel like even WWE's malaise still does better things than what AEW do. AEW's best when in the early stages, but even the years after, and it's because they had a really small roster, so it became really, really focused.
Right.
You had to get it right with who you're going, and they used the best of what they had. And now it feels like most of it's floaty. You've got your one or two stories that everyone can talk about, but the rest is just happening. They do a match on Collision and then they disappear for a couple of weeks, and it gets a bit frustrating.
Yeah. But all in all, the message of this segment is it's not that wrestling is bad right now. It's just that we are indifferent to it, and that's the problem.
I agree. Can we talk about, though, a thing that hasn't led to indifference online, which is Sheamus being not technically released? I've got a few things to say about this, but we're going to talk about a main conversation afterwards. But I want to talk about Sheamus briefly.
Yes, we did this on the night shift for about 3 minutes or less, so I'm excited to talk about this one.
Yeah. So we'll talk about the concept of WWE Live in a minute. I think that's actually the main talking point, because I do think it's interesting.
Sure.
But let's talk about Sheamus first of all. Brilliant. He's awesome. He's great. Let's take emotion out of it for a second. Let's completely take emotion out of it. So you're now an emotionless robot. It makes sense to give him a lower contract. I don't understand why. I know this is new. This is a new concept that TKO have introduced. But in the grand scheme of things, it makes sense. Why should a 48-year-old who is constantly injured be on such a high figure? They didn't want to get rid of him. They offered him a lower contract. Sheamus said no. Because again, from Sheamus' perspective, he thinks he has his own worth. And he's gone, this is not my worth. And I understand that as well. So from an motionless standpoint, I get it. Offering him a lower contract. I do get it.
Can I give you an example in the States? Right now, okay. Sheamus was okay. I'm not saying and this is not dragging him down, was one of the best heels when he first debuted and he won the title. Mm-hmm. Then he made chicken salad out of chicken shit a million times in his career, to the point where you understood if Sheamus was there, you were going to get some crazy matches. Something might happen. He may do some kind of pump kick from out of nowhere. He put on, when he started becoming banger after banger, he reinvented himself
as well, by the way. When did he become like the match of the night guy?
Yeah, he reinvented himself a million times, and God bless him, he was always the thing. Now, he's 48 and so am I. Let's be honest. Nobody is giving me, even in the work world, if I go out and get a new job, nobody is valuing me like they would value somebody in their 30s, no offense, who can still go, right? Sheamus might have a value. However, the ROI is not there anymore.
Yeah.
If you want to look at the merch sales, tell me where the ROI is. Tell me where
they talked about it. They gave a few examples of this. One, his YouTube channel is very, very profitable.
Fine, but that's not even wrestling.
I know, but but this is what I'm saying. The examples they were giving were extracurricular, as it were. They were like his interviews, how he speaks outside, good ambassador, connection to Europe. So it makes sense that because I believe the story is someone went into bat for him, like from the office, and it wouldn't shock me if it was Triple H, to be honest, because they are like,
Triple H brought him in, right? That was like one of the
He was his workout buddy for a while. They just became workout buddies, which is probably why I got over so much. But like Sheamus is brilliant. But if I just took out the emotion, because that's the problem with wrestling, we get emotionally attached to people.
Yep.
Sheamus has become beloved, like the New Day, like that. But at the end of the day, you can't just have them stick around.
But was he beloved at the end because he hasn't wrestled in months? Did you see Sheamus signs at shows? No. Were there we want Sheamus chants at the shows? No. He might be beloved in your mind as a wrestling fan, but to be honest, and we go back to the business side, there's no return on your investment if you're going to put Sheamus in a main event. Is anybody buying tickets to see Sheamus versus Roman Reigns? No. Is anybody buying tickets to see Sheamus versus CM Punk? No.
But here's the thing, I will counter argument, but then agree with you. He's not in the main event, right? So you need variety in that mid card, and to know that Sheamus could put on a lovely, great match, 15 minutes in the mid card, helps the selling of tickets because the show feels more rounded. I never think the main event sells the show much unless it's a mega main event. I think the show now sells more. I think people look at the card and go, there's only one match to watch here, I might not bother. I see that a lot in modern wrestling, as opposed to how it was in the 80s in particular, where you didn't even need a card. You just went, oh, by the way, this is the match that's
right. All the stars are here. I'm going. Yeah.
And that was what it was. However, on the counter argument, Sheamus might be on main event money. And that's the argument I'm saying, because he was offered it. Like people go, look, over let the New Day go. They were offered a contract. They didn't want them to go. And people go, they're lowballing them. And I just go, you're not, though, are you? You're just not the same as they were. They are older people.
Well, when these people say lowballing, I want to be like, what are you, a talent agent? What the hell do you know about lowballing? You don't know anything. All of a sudden, you're going to talk to me about wrestling contracts. I don't know anything about wrestling contracts. I stay out of it. That's what I do. Your business. Nobody comes to me and goes, Josh, what did you sign with your new company for? They don't care. What do you need to know what I'm getting? Like this is the fact. The only reason why you know anything is because they're a public company. Nobody knows anything if Tony Khan decides to say to FTR, I love you guys, but when you come back from your hiatus, you're going to make less money. No one's going to know because it's not public. And the only reason why they crucified WWE is because it's public. I get it. I get it.
Publicly traded company, not publicly traded.
Right, and I get it. But you know what? In the end, it's always going to be guys get old. Even LeBron James is looking for a contract right now. No one's giving him $58 million. They're going to give him what they call the veterans minimum. He might make $5 million this year to play for a championship team. He's 46 years old. It's just the way it goes. We're not trying to we're not tearing down Sheamus. We're just giving you the fact that the guy's been in WWE for 18 years. What else are we doing? What are you holding on to him for?
And then there's so many complaints that people make, which we get into our main complaint. But one of the complaints is the amount of people who go, why aren't WWE pushing the younger people? And then they release or give a contract to these older guys. And they're like, what are you doing? These are my older guys. And you're like, what do you want them to do?
I want Ethan Page to win every match. And then you go on and go, well, Sheamus how come you didn't give Sheamus a contract? And it's like, well, do you either want Penta and Rey Fenix to succeed on SmackDown and Raw, or you're going to push one of them out so you can have a Sheamus match? It's unfortunate. Nobody's bashing Sheamus. It's just unfortunate. This is what happens when you get old.
We love Sheamus. Adore Sheamus. He's one of my favorite wrestlers, and I don't want him to go. I will get happy if he turns on TV. I am sad he's going, right? Because I'm not really I don't care for the main eventers at the moment.
But you understand. But
I'm the one who's arguing it makes the most sense. Like, literally, particularly the fact that if he was wrestling every single week, right?
Yeah.
Then I would go, now this seems a little unfair. Like, why you're using him all the time? And then suddenly, like, Aleister Black getting released just made no sense to me. I'm like, aren't you building him up on TV at the moment or whatever? Aren't you using him? It makes
he wasn't working no matter what. He wasn't working.
But it's still the idea of being used. And I'm like, but Sheamus is injured. He's at the fact that he's still wrestling now in general. Like at one point he was considering retirement because his neck was completely ruined.
Mm-hmm.
But let's talk about the other argument that people make as a go at TKO. Now, before we get into this, let's first of all completely agree on the bat. We are not TKO fans.
I am a get all your money when you can get it guy from wrestlers. So yeah. I'm not a TKO guy, but I'm also go get that money and get it wherever you can get it. Yeah.
We're not fans of TKO. We're not fans of how they treat fans and all that stuff.
Right? I think they've ruined the advertising, the way they flipped wrestling because they don't understand it makes me sad. Yeah.
So let's just make that clear before we do any actual weirdly complete flip and kind of almost praise TKO. We're not fans. But no. So the amount of people who have gone, TKO, keep ruining WWE. There's no such thing as a WWE lifer anymore. And I am so sick of this WWE lifer nonsense because I'm going to tell you this now, it practically doesn't exist.
It shouldn't exist.
Forget the fact the idea should or shouldn't. It doesn't. It's nonsense. Let's talk about what the concept of a WWE lifer is. The idea that you start your career in WWE, which doesn't happen. So already all of your lifers are gone. So
except for the NIL guys who come in.
Let's rephrase this slightly because there's no such thing apart from the last couple of minutes when people have actually started doing their first ever wrestling in WWE, right? There's very few. I think you have to have spent your majority career in WWE, let's say 80%. I think that's a relatively fair because otherwise Undertaker's not a lifer, is he? Shawn Michaels is not a lifer. So already you've ruled out almost every wrestler who's ever existed, pretty much, bar The Miz, as a WWE lifer. So you have to already change the parameters. You have to spend the majority of time because if you're like Shawn Michaels in the AWA, Undertaker was in WCW, they can't be on their list. So that's nonsense, right? So you have to spend the majority of your career in WWE, and obviously you have to finish your career in WWE. You have to retire or not wrestle anymore after that, right? There are so few people who fall into that bracket, and I'll give you already, before we even get
the answer is there are 0 people who fall into that bracket. There's no such thing, right?
There is no such thing, is my point. But even if we actually start hiring up the parameters and say OVW is a WWE, so that counts, and 80 must be 80, but I agree, but let's say it is. I meant beforehand, like you see.
Yeah.
So, and NXT obviously is WWE. So let's just widen it and say you have to spend 80% of your career in WWE, right? So if you had a 5-year career, 4 years of it had to be in WWE to be a WWE lifer. And then you have to finish in WWE. Take out the biggest of the biggest of the biggest, your main eventers of main eventering us. So that rules out your John Cena's, your Triple H's now, as I've given the 80% thing, Shawn Michaels, Undertaker. We're talking Randy Orton, mega stars here. How many people who have ever, in the history of WWE, have been a WWE lifer who wasn't a mega star?
Maven.
He wrestled afterwards. One match, therefore not a lifer.
Oh, he was in Creative Pro too and do stuff. Yeah.
Exactly. This is the thing that bugs me so much. They're getting rid of all the lifers. I'm like, R-Truth was released already once.
He was in NWA TNA when he was a TNA champion. Let's slow down.
He'd already been released. If someone's been released, they're not a lifer.
And the term lifer is hilarious because when I got out of college in 2000, I went to work for a pharma company, Merck. And I said to myself, I'm going to be here forever. I said, those days where you get the gold watch, you retire, you work 35 years. And guess what? 5 years later, I got laid off. There are no such thing as lifers in any business, anywhere. This isn't the 1960s where you went to work at Ford and you built cars until 1991 and then you retired with a watch. It doesn't happen anymore. Nobody owes it to you. Nobody owes it to them. All of a sudden, the people who come out and like, this guy should have retired here. What do you know? You know nothing to be able to tell me that some of these guys should be retiring where they are. Nobody deserves anything. You got to earn it. So the problem with and the fact that we're falling all over ourselves to get a guy like Sheamus, like I don't understand the logic. I just don't understand. You know how many guys who leave WWE and are like, this is the best thing I could have ever done. I'm going to go on the indies. I'm going to run, do stuff, reinvent myself, try things. Look at Leo Rush, Look at Cardona. Look at Eddie Kingston. Look at all these guys who disappeared for a while on the indies and did their thing and relearned and did it. Wrestling is not about lifing in a company. It's about traveling. It's about showing yourself in other places. It's about reinventing yourself. The fact that it's so tribal that you say you're in my group, like the Mets, they let Pete Alonso go to the Orioles. What does it matter after that? Like, nobody finishes their Keith Hernandez, my favorite Met, finished his career at the Cleveland Indians. Like, nothing ever happens.
I've been a football fan since 1997, and I can tell you now, there are very few people who have ended their career where they came through the youth academy, or at least were signed at
Harry Kane. I thought he was going to be a Spur forever. Look where he is. He went to Bayern. Like, what am I supposed to do? There's no such thing as lifers. There's no such thing.
I want people, if they're ever watching this, I hope maybe it gets clipped. There is no such thing as a WWE lifer apart from people who are mega bucks. Right, and they have
not even them. Hulk Hogan left.
I was going to say, and it's mega bucks for people who've decided to stay, because like Austin was released, he's out. Rock decided to leave. He may not have wrestled somewhere else, but he left.
Yeah,
that doesn't make you a lifer. You're not. The WWE might be his only wrestling company, but that's not a lifer. So
right.
The amount of people I've just been arguing, going, no, not a lifer, not a lifer. And even then, I have to put the parameter of majority of the career because that rules out everybody. Like, Sheamus is a WWE lifer. Really? Didn't realize that his first ever wrestling thing was in WWE and not in Ireland.
Go back on these guys and look at the history of Sheamus. Look at where he started as Sheamus O'Shaughnessy and all the different things. He worked with Drew McIntyre. Hey, guess what, people? Drew McIntyre did not start in WWE. Like
Sheamus got to WWE at what, 31? 30 years old? Do you really think that's when he first started?
Right. Look at the New Day. Austin, what's his name? Creed, Xavier Woods was everywhere. Yeah, Kofi Kingston worked in OVW, worked in other places. Big E, yes, he might have come straight. I think he came straight from Iowa, but he also, I think he worked in a few places.
Big E was actually somebody who said that when I said, give me a WWE lifer who's not a main event or a massive megastar, Big E was actually one of the few. I was like, I'll give you Big E. You can have Big E. But then again, would Big E still be in WWE now?
Right. Would they have released him along with the New Day if he didn't break his neck? Right.
Literally, because he's now doing something else. So that's like he has a forced retirement, which is very, very different. It's just the concept of WWE lifer or any lifer bugged the hell out of me.
You're allowed to get mad. You're allowed.
Steven Gerrard Liverpool, they were like, oh, he's Liverpool through and through. One of the few people like, he went to America. He played for the team. You got rid of him.
But the thing is, you can love whoever. I love Pete Alonso. I loved him. I love Patrick Ewing. Patrick Ewing went to Orlando, played for Seattle, went all over the place. I loved Vlade Divac. He left the Lakers and went over to Sacramento. He played for Charlotte. There is nothing we can do, people. There's no such term. And if Sheamus leaves now, which he did, and now he's going to go, let's say, to AEW. Let's say he doesn't want to. Let's say he wants to go back to Europe and go to Rev Pro or whatever Nikki Cross runs. What if he wants to help people in the UK? There's nothing. It's okay. Let's take a breath. It's okay. Sheamus gave you years of entertainment. Watch old Sheamus matches then. There's nothing else you need to do. Nothing. Let's just.
Speaking of years of entertainment, Sami Zayn. Can I say a few things first of all about this before we get really into the meat and potatoes of it? I think Sami's been fantastic post WrestleMania. Like, I think he's been one of the few things on SmackDown, because SmackDown's been not great to watch. It's been very boring. Not Raw's bad, boring. Yeah, Raw's been fine. I just think Raw's been okay.
Fine, sure.
Yeah, maybe just above fine, but SmackDown has dragged it down. SmackDown has been really just a non-event. It's been, and I don't think 2 hours is going to help it either, because quite frankly, I always thought SmackDown was better at 3 than 2 anyway.
Oh, I always thought 2 hours was the sweet spot because they forced you to come up with something creative. Yeah.
I agree with you. 2 hours is better. I'm saying that they haven't done a 2-hour SmackDown for a long time, and then when they get 3, it's better for a bit. Do you remember when it went back to 3? It was good for a few months, and then it's dropped back down again.
3 is too long for any wrestling show.
Way too long, but I'm saying that you don't seem to book a decent 2-hour SmackDown. That's the issue. So with Sami Zayn, I think he's been great. I think this heel turn's been really well done. I think it's so easy to hate. the idea of I'm the last good guy. That's so simple. It's just like Kurt Angle, circa 99, 98, saying, doing his 3 eyes, look how brilliant I am, I'm the Olympic gold medalist. So easy to hate it. I think his in-ring has been solid. I do think Sami is slowing down dramatically.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it looks obvious. However, when he's in the ring with somebody, they can pull it. Because that triple threat between him, Cody, and Gunther was brilliant. It was fantastic because they told a really good story. Gunther just constantly throwing Sami out of the ring, just going, I'm not bothered by you. You don't bother me. So he's constantly getting rid of him. Cody and Sami kind of did this weird face-off that didn't quite work. But they all meshed so well. They countered so well. The finish was great. This is why roll-ups work really well. It was such a shock finish rather than the, I've been surprised roll-up. Ooh, this was great. I loved the match. But the second I saw Sami win the championship, I posted a short immediately and went, place your bets. How long will this last? And almost every single person was predicting Saturday night's main event. And then the Raw announcement happened, and everyone went, "Oh, Raw! It's happening on Raw," and it did.
I have my own opinions on Sami Zayn.
Yes.
El Generico was one of my favorite Ring of Honor wrestlers. Short hair Sami Zayn and Cesaro in NXT was some of my favorite wrestling in my history, just mentally. Short hair Sami Zayn versus Nakamura was one of the greatest NXT matches of all time.
I personally think it is the greatest.
I thought Cesaro, Sami Zayn, best 2 out of 3 was the better match.
Do you want to know why? Do you want to know why I might be slightly let's say darkened by the idea that I think it might be his Nakamura? Because I hate Nakamura. It's the only time I've ever enjoyed him, so maybe that's what it is. I hate Nakamura.
I don't like what he's turned into, but I love Nakamura. I do not like bum Sami Zayn, bum hair, bum beard, Sami Zayn now. I understand he's slowed down. He is not Generico. He is not the guy who goes through the middle turnbuckle to do the DDT anymore. But I just have not enjoyed his presentation since after they lost the tag titles with him and Owens when they won it at WrestleMania. I have been off the Sami Zayn bandwagon for maybe 2.5 years. I get nothing out of him. I am not in a rush. I used to be in a rush to see him get a title. I would have loved to have seen him win that belt in Montreal. And now I am done. I am out. I don't care what happens to Sami Zayn. It is, to me, a character that is not necessary anymore. And that's the end for me. I'm not going to start arguments with people online about it. Nothing. I don't like him. I want Kevin Owens back so badly. I don't know how injured he is, but I would love to see him back.
I don't think it's going to happen,
Yeah, I mean, so what I'll do is I'll give the time for them to do things with Sami Zayn. I don't turn the TV off when he's on. I just go, I don't care. I don't want Sami Zayn holding the title. There's no reason for it. Those days, and that's another example of you're too late. You're too late. Regardless
3 years too late. 3 years.
You're too late. My enjoyment of the character is gone. You're too late. He looks like a bum. And I know that, oh, Jim Cornette, old man. Please, that's not a world champion. Let's just deal with somebody give me somebody fresh. So Punk won the belt. That's not fresh, but people love Punk. They'll never stop loving Punk.
Punk's a megastar, so.
He is. And so that's where we are now. I'm not going to get on a soapbox and start being like, everything about Sam. I'm just done. I'm done. I don't care about Sami Zayn. I'm glad he doesn't have the belt right now. The world went up in arms both directions when he won, when he lost. It is what it is. But we got plenty of content out of it. We do. We have plenty of content. Yes.
What I'll say is I was actually with you. I agreed. I was done with Sami not long after the tag title winner as well. I was really unhappy that he was the one who ended Gunther's IC reign. I thought that made no sense. I thought Chad gave him the obvious answer. And still is the obvious answer. It's still Maxine Dupree has won a singles title before Chad Gable. Still hurts me to my bitter core.
That's a guy who should be. Chad Gable should be the next everything. And can we get him started? Can we just get him started?
He's in his 40s as well, though.
Yeah, but can we get him started? Give him the U.S. title or something. Just get him started. He needs a belt now. Now.
It's insane. But my point was, I was the same as you because I was getting sick and tired of the I just want to win the WWE title. I just want that shot. He fell into Dolph Ziggler territory.
Yes.
Fell into Dolph Ziggler territory. Now, I will agree that, and then let's say probably from about July onwards of last year to WrestleMania, I was done with Sami, like really done. I didn't care for him going for the title at the Royal Rumble. Didn't care. Like, it just did not care. His feud with Trick was awful. As much as we really enjoyed the hilarity of the funeral, which was hilarious, the feud was awful. Awful. And also, he took the title off Carmelo Hayes as well, which we didn't want.
Which was awful. Yeah, it didn't need to be done. They did it so rushed just to get him on a WrestleMania. Like, I hated that.
It was to get him on Mania when Melo Trick was the better match that we
That was the match. You had it staring you in the face, yes.
Literally there for you. They're doing it now. And you're like, you've missed the boat. Carmelo has eased off. He's cooled off.
They do it every time they miss. They try to get it back in when they're like, if we shoehorn this in, we'll come back to this. And then they don't realize that by the time you come back, dinner's already cold, and that's the end. You know, like, hey,
we are allowed to tangent. We can tangent.
Right, you're not allowed to. You have to stick. You have to stick to the road in front of you. We're showing you what's going to be there. Instead, that's like you and me. Like, that's me coming home going, I'm gonna make burgers. And then. But you know what? It would be really great if I decided to sidestep and make a baked potato for 2 hours. Like, and I'll come back to the burgers. Everything will be fine. Nope, the burgers are overcooked and cold, and the potato might be hot, but nobody cares about the potato anymore. That's the problem.
Oh my God, the burger baked potato theory. It's gonna be it forever now. We're gonna call it the burger baked potato. We see it happen
I hope
again.
so.
We're gonna call it
just like Surfboard. Do you ever read that tweet about Surfboard Dracula?
Go on, tell me about it.
So Surfboard Dracula is how people have described the streaming world now. It's so if this was the 70s and they named a show called Surfboard Dracula, you can bet every episode Dracula would be on his surfboard surfing all over the world, showing off his surfboard. Nowadays in the streaming, they give you 8 episodes of why he needs a surfboard, and then in the last episode you get 30 seconds of him on the surfboard. That's the dichotomy of the world now, is that you could bet he'll be surfing his ass off in the 70s, and now we need an explanation as to why the surfboard needs to exist. That's the difference.
Didn't
Surfboard Dracula
have anti-shark?
I just thought that one sits with me forever. Is that like the first season of Daredevil, they gave us every excuse why he doesn't have his suit, and the last 10 seconds he has his suit on. That is Surfboard Dracula. That's it. That's the whole thing.
I love it. I'm such a fan.
So now that's what we're going to use. We're going to use the hamburger baked potato reference to every single thing. We're trying to cook hamburgers, but I think a 2-hour baked potato would be a lot better. And don't worry about the burgers. They'll be fine when we get there. And then we get there, they're overcooked and bad anyway.
But the thing is, though, I will slightly disagree with all that, because I've really enjoyed his heel stick of I'm the last good guy, because people are sick of him. So that's what you should do when people get sick, is you should turn it into a heel. You should. That's what you should do, because there's very few people who are heels.
Forced heel turns, but that's forced, because we're telling you enough of your shit.
Yeah, but I agree. But this is why you have to be careful, because if you keep going and doing the shit, you then get X-Pac heat. And you don't want that anyway. So I think this heel turn's work, because people are booing it not because they want Sami to go away, but because it actually is obnoxious and annoying. The problem is he then won the WWE title in what felt like a babyface moment, because it was in Saudi. So already that goes away from the dichotomy, but he's still tweening heely. So I could just about get away with it. And having Punk be the one to end it after 9 days, I think's funny. I think it works really well with the Sami character. I've got to the top of the mountain and it's gone. So I actually, I said it right at the beginning of the show. I love sometimes a short title reign when it's done well, it's correct. This is an example of it. You've given Sami a title reign, so you can actually say forever he's WWE champion. I'm actually okay with that too. So there's also a thank you to that. But 2, I think him being champion for so few days will make the heel even better, because he will complain and bitch about it, and that will work really well. Punk's moving over to SmackDown as well. So
is he? Wait, he's moving to SmackDown?
He's been advertised more for SmackDown than he has anything else. So
that's right. Because Roman and the Bloodline 2 Who Cares is And
they want to do Punk Cody. That needs to be on SmackDown. I would be doing that at WrestleMania. I would not be doing it at SummerSlam. Why are we jumping the gun there? Build it to the big show, but whatever. We've just talked about the burgers and baked potatoes. Now we're eating raw burger is what we've done with that one, but whatever.
That's correct.
I like the Sami thing. I have to admit, because I don't like Sami, and I think it could work. Because did you see his promo after losing the title on Raw?
Yeah. I saw it.
Love that.
Fine. Yeah.
Love that. So hopefully,
10 years too late.
This is the issue I was going to say. His character and story is really good. The problem is it's with somebody who is getting a little bit on and
it's too much. Yes.
Yeah. I think we've got loads of new guys that are really exciting right now in WWE. That if they actually just went, okay, let's go for it. Obviously, they're going to with Obafemi very soon. I still think they've made a mistake not him doing double duty at SummerSlam. I still think that's a mistake.
Yes, you're right. That's what Kyle was pushing on the night shift 100 times. He said, have him do both nights. Have him lose one night or have him beat Brock one night and then win the title the next night. Yeah, do both.
Win both nights.
Yeah.
Like Roman and Seth, again, that's WrestleMania to me. You know, build it. That's a WrestleMania match because it feels like it's just come out of nowhere. Seth going, hey, me again. And you're like, why was this not some later? It just feels like we jumped to SummerSlam.
Yeah, I think I think you and I have talked about this on the last show or even the first one is there are stories that need time to cook and there are stories that you can rush. And a world title story you cannot set up just like the Punk, the MJF Kenny Omega's match. You cannot give me a world title match that took a week to build. I need build. And fine, say that I'm old, blah. Everyone's going to tell me that I'm a curmudgeon. I want build for a world title.
You just had a one-night stand, and now you're getting on one knee to propose. I mean, it's not going to work.
No, I need build for title matches. Give me story. Yeah, give me story. Don't just throw a title match in there and be like, it's a big one because of the names. No, give me a reason to care. That's all.
The thing that's so funny to me is the reason I care about Roman Seth is because of LA Knight. Hang on, that's not gone well. LA Knight walks in and goes, why do you deserve a title shot? Why don't I get that? And you're like, yeah, you've just completely undercut it because guess what? You're still doing the match. That match is still not going to change, even though you've just explained that it shouldn't. You've just explained it. Like, no, I've always been a real negative Nancy on I walk out, challenge, get a title shot.
Right.
For all titles.
You got to earn it.
I have no problem with a champion challenging someone because that's a fighting champion and stuff like that. I have no problem with that. So for me, if Roman Reigns had come out and gone, I've done everything now, but the only thing I've not done is beat you, that already better storyline.
Yeah, give me that match. Yeah.
Same storyline, same story, but you started it better.
You started differently.
I must beat you. I'm desperate.
That's a really good point. I am with you on that. If you got more of that, I think it would be. You could freshen up the bloodline if the bloodline's like, we're going to settle some old scores. We're calling out all the people we want. Yeah.
Well, they're going to be doing that with Tama Tonga, which we'll get to a little.
Fine, but instead of everyone coming out going, I think I should be world champ, and then everyone's like, well, you should have a title. No, you may think you should be world champ, but you haven't proved it. So if Roman says, I think you should wrestle me, great. If this guy comes out and says I should be world champ, you go, well, I don't care. Like, hey, I think I should be world champ. Do you give me a match?
Seth could explain why he deserves a title shot. He was the world champion. He got injured. He never lost the title. But that's a story for a different matchup than him and Roman Reigns because he didn't come out and go, I never lost the title, so I deserve a title shot. He came out pretty much and went, oh, you've never beaten me. Me and you, we're old. We should have a match. And I'm like, Seth, again, you've got a reason or a rationale to ask for a title shot. You never lost the title. Again, that could work as well. If you're just starting a match, but that's not. They kind of taken the three ideas and just gone, and I hate that. And I'm really not a fan of this Roman Reigns run. Not really because of Roman Reigns per se, but because we're just treading water again.
Can I just ask one thing? Can I have a Roman Reigns match on Raw? Just a match. Can I just see him wrestle once? Is it so bad to see him on television wrestle?
If you recall, in episode 2 of the Transatlantic Pop, I told you how many days Roman has been since.
But I don't even need him to defend it. Can I just see him wrestle in some capacity? Can he get in the ring without always being in street clothes? Can somebody wrestle in that without it being the Usos? Can I see Roman Reigns wrestle? I want to pay for a ticket and see him wrestle.
Because you run into the same problem with Punk. Punk wrestled more than everyone else, but he still didn't wrestle that much on Raw. in the grand scheme of things.
That would be like going to a Tom Cruise movie and all he does is introduce the movie. And he's not in the movie. And you go, I really want to see Tom Cruise act. I don't want to see him introduce the show. I want to see him act. Imagine going to every movie and he's just introducing them.
I think you've missed a trick because every now and then you get Roman Reigns does a beatdown, doesn't he? Every now and then. That
doesn't count. That doesn't count.
So he gets a slow beatdown. So he does something slightly physical. So actually what you're watching is Tom Cruise just running. It's just running.
You know what? That's right. That would be like him running across the screen. He introduces it, runs across the screen. You're like, oh, crap, we're going to get something. And then he doesn't come back. He just runs across the screen. So, yes, I would really like, and this is not me knocking Roman Reigns. I really want to see him wrestle. Can he wrestle? Can somebody work? Does anybody work? Can you work, please? I don't want to see street clothes anymore. Work in the ring.
Like, you can't, like, I'm a big fan of get as much Roman as we can. He's still struggling with leukemia, so I have no problem with it being part-time and all that jazz. I'm going to be his defender forever.
That's fine. Me too. I'm an HR guy. That's fine. But then don't come in the ring and win the belt.
You could have a pay-per-view match. Then I'm pretty certain you could also have at least one Raw match a month.
Yeah, give me one a month. Even if it's a tag match. Just get in the ring. Yeah, get in it. Ring. Jesus. Get in the fucking ring already. I mean, like, this goes for everybody.
Yeah, everybody.
Why do you think I love the indies so much? Everybody wrestles. Everybody. Yeah. And I want, even when you go see like a guy, last weekend, Just Incredible was in AIW. He looks great, by the way. He showed up, looks in shape, and wrestled a hardcore match. Just incredible. He wrestled. He got in the ring. He wasn't there to be like, I'm just going to sign autographs. He got in. Shane Douglas, I saw him at AIW. He got in the ring. Just wrestle, Roman Reigns. Wrestle.
The problem I have with Just Incredible is I've always just found his name to be an oxymoron. And
he sucks. I'll tell you what, though. The guy said he came up big. People were excited to see him, and he didn't. He's had some really bad times. But I will, and he looked great. He was really fat at one point, and then now he looks great. He got himself in shape. I'll tell you, he got in the so Just Incredible has wrestled more this month than Roman Reigns. Just Incredible. Let's go there. Fine.
Rename his name to Just All Right. Is that
fine? Just guy. It doesn't matter. He wrestled Aldo Montoya. He was in Aldo Montoya was in the ring before Roman Reigns this month.
With the tuft. Oh, that's who you should have added your forgotten star. You've missed a trick.
I have somebody else. I don't know if it's forgotten, but I have somebody else that I've always been obsessed with. So I figured I'd bring him up. But we'll talk about that in a second. Yeah.
We gotta discuss CM Punk. I think has to be discussed. I need to go on a mini rant again.
Okay.
I don't want our show to be the internet is stupid. I don't want that to be our show.
It's not. We haven't said anything that the internet's stupid anyway, but we just haven't said anything like that. So But
I did a little bit with the WWE Lifer stuff. That was idiotic.
Okay. But that was more of on the fans as not so much internet as more of like, I don't think fans understand like the younger people in general. I don't think they understand how this is a business. I know we have our own. It's got so tribal. I think that's the only issue. I don't think it's that they're dumb. It's that we have to stop the tribal stuff.
I have to people will know I am very up and down with CM Punk. I've had as a fan, let's go with, a tumultuous relationship where he's been my favorite wrestler and I've actively hated the man, Phil Brooks. I don't know where I am in life with him. I think I really enjoyed his 3 years in WWE. He looks like he's had a new lease on life. He looks like he's happy. He looks relaxed. He looks content, which makes me happy, relaxed, and content. So I'm in the happy for CM Punk category at the moment. I'm really enjoying seeing him because at the end of that AEW, I hated him. I hated the man. I hated what happened with AEW. And I hated kind of when he started going on a big bitch face because he was in the right in 2014. He was treated badly, but he kept bitching and moaning so much that he ended up becoming the villain. So he's been a weird one, right? So the reason I'm prefacing it is because I don't want people like CM Punk fan and all that. That's baby Sam. He will defend him to the hilt. People have had a go at him and saying he is a hypocrite because he's returned and won the title. And I'm just sat there because obviously of what he said about The Rock a decade ago, right? And I'm just sat there like, what? He was complaining about part-timers. He has a break and he's not part-time. He has never been part-time in WWE. Even when he was injured, he was turning up every week on Raw.
Yeah.
He has more matches than any other main eventer, right? Sort of thing. And people have had this 3-month break and have now accused him of being a part-timer, therefore he's a hypocrite coming back and winning the title. And you're like, one, no, not the same. He does not have power and influence to make him have the title. So everything that was being said about how there's been negativity and Punk wants to leave WWE and all that stuff that's been happening over the last 3 months has been nonsense. He's probably injured. He didn't exactly look fit at the end of the Roman Reigns match, did he? He looked broken at the end of the Roman Reigns match.
Yeah.
He doesn't book the show, so he's been given the WWE title because they're setting up something else. And he was champion just beforehand. He had a 3-month break, does not make you part-time, because it's almost like people have not realized that WWE is not Vince McMahon anymore. They give people breaks. People get to leave for a bit. They get to go. If Drew McIntyre returned on SmackDown this week and wins the WWE title, is he a part-time wrestler? He's been gone since WrestleMania. Is he part-time as well? No. He's doing movies and having a break because he deserves it. And Punk has been full-time. He's a man who's had many injuries. He's in his late 40s.
My age. Another one, 48 years old.
You old bastards. He deserves a break. He should get a break, right? He's allowed a break because, quite frankly, he can't do every week. And if you want to keep him in your main event. So I've just got so wound up about people who've hated Punk coming back and winning the title when I've just told you that, I think that'll work for Sami even more. So I think that's brilliant for Sami. You know, the title doesn't make the man makes the title, right? And sometimes you don't need the title to be in the main event picture. CM Punk winning the title is not a part-time. He's not a hypocrite because, that's what you complain about The Rock doing it. The Rock Rock wasn't in the company. Wasn't even a part-timer. He was a commodity who rocked up, won the title off Punk. And they are not the same. And if you think they're the same, you are a Punk hater. You're not speaking from facts or logic. You just don't like Punk.
I love CM Punk. I have always loved CM Punk. My problem has always been this with CM Punk. He's been so controversial that and Sam, you probably don't know this. So in the early 2000s, and maybe you know them, Opie and Anthony were a radio group, okay?
Famously used for the XFL.
Yeah, so they're in the same light as Imus, as Howard Stern. They were shock jocks, and I love them, right? I love to this day. I interned for them. I did a lot of things. I love them. To this day, they don't talk anymore, but I love both of them. Mm-hmm. The years of enjoyment. However, they were so controversial that you did not know every week if you were going to, after the weekend, if they were going to be on the air Monday, because of things they said, things they did, how they ticked off management. And I got very nervous every Monday morning that they were not going to be there. And that happened eventually. And they lasted till like 2014. Then they split up. Now they're all doing different things. However, CM Punk to me, when the last 3 years of WWE, 2008 to like 2011, before he left, I understood he was upset, and I felt, and the same thing happened with Paul Heyman and Joey Styles.
Yeah,
I felt on Monday when they started the show were my favorite guys going to be on television. That was my biggest. I always got upset when Paul Heyman was not on commentary, and I said, "Oh no, what did he do now?" When Joey Styles left, I was heartbroken. I love Joey Styles. I was heartbroken when he left Raw that night when he quit. I thought Joey Styles was the best voice they had to replace Jim Ross. That was just me. CM Punk was the same way. I used to go, "Oh no, where's Punk tonight?" Like when they did the Summer of Punk, I thought he was going to lose and just leave, and that was going to be the end of it. And I wasn't going to get to see Punk anymore. That is the only thing in my mind from those days that upsets me the most about Punk, was that I always felt uneasy that he was going to say or do something behind the scenes where I wasn't going to get to enjoy him anymore. Now that he is back, when he was in AEW, I enjoyed it very much. I did not care about his fight with Jack Perry. I thought he was in the right. I love Punk. I love the story of Punk and Joe when they went out, because Punk still, Joe was like, "I'm going to be professional," because Joe's my favorite of all time. "I'm going to be professional, Punk. You and I are going to get out there and do this, and we're going to make a great, we're going to put on a great match." I love that Punk returned to WWE and people got all up in arms. I love Punk. There is nothing that he can do. I mean, yes, he does whine a bit, and I'm a big Colt Cabana fan, and that made me sad that the two of them don't hang out anymore.
Yeah, that's the problem with Punk. The only thing I'll say, because I'm the same, is I think Punk has a "you're dead to me."
Yeah, it is, but so does my wife, It happens.
But I think if you have a "you're dead to me" attitude, you then can't get forgiveness. You then can't, fix any problem.
But it's funny? Everybody gets forgiveness. And in wrestling, everybody gets forgiven as long as you're coming back and entertaining people. And honestly, there is nothing that I will say since Punk has been back that I have been upset with. I love even as stupid as the feud over Larry's bracelet was. I was just happy that Drew McIntyre and Punk were on television. Two of my favorite guys.
The bracelet got a bit silly, but other than that feud
two of my favorite guys.
Years.
Yeah, two of my favorite guys. Punk, I don't care what happens. I don't care what is what. I love it. And you'll never hear me say anything bad about a CM Punk run. Yes, he is out of gas. I think he's old, and I think he doesn't do the same things. Sometimes it looks like a struggle, like the buckshot lariat was embarrassing. I felt bad for him. I felt bad for him. But I am very happy his space in WWE, that's where he occupies, and he does a very good job of it. And I had no problem with him winning the belt. I was actually super happy.
Hence why I'm defending him, because I'm sick of people like throwing this is the point I was making. It's just Punk hate rather than facts. And I do hate that that's the society we live in, from politics to sports to TV program, that if you just hate, like, that's why Supergirl's getting a thing, because it's a woman superhero, and that's the negativity, sadly. Or DCEU gets negativity automatically. And I don't like it. Like, they would just, like, if you don't like Punk, that's fine, but at least come with facts. You can't just go, hey, you just doing the same as The Rock. Is like, how? Explain how it's the same. Well, he went away for 3 months. Did The Rock go away for 3 months, or did he leave and then came back on a reduced schedule? Punk had a break. Do you not get a break as a human being? Do you not have a break and stuff like that? And it just drives me mad. I just want to throw that out there. Should we get into our monthly roundup? Because I assume things like that will come back round again. Should we get into the monthly roundup?
Yeah, I think we're in a good place. I think we've covered our topics for what we needed. So let's do that.
We'll do a little month roundup. So first of all, I think the most famous thing that everyone is always looking forward to every time the Transatlantic Pop turns up, it's the JGold 2-minute NXT roundup.
All right, let's do it.
2 minutes to tell me about everything, because I've not watched a single second as per normal. There will be people here who are only watching WWE or only watching AEW who never see NXT, even though arguably from what I can hear is still the best show weekly, I think still.
Let's go bottom up.
JGold from the NXT Night Shift, you have roughly 2 minutes to tell us everything that's been happening in NXT since the last time we spoke. Your time starts now.
All right, we're going to start from the bottom up to men's tag team division. The Vanity Project still holding on, and the glue to the NXT men's tag team division. Their next opponent, Sean Legacy and Dyson Von Du, I forgot his name, but they are the new tag team. The tag team division is rough right now in NXT, but Vanity Project are the stars. Vanity Project, Jackson Drake, and Micah, who plays the China role. She is amazing. Vanity Project should be everywhere. They bump for everybody. The men's tag division is in good hands with them until we find some new talent. The women's North American title, Zarya, finally won her belt, and she is feeling herself. She is the it girl in NXT. You want her to beat up your entire mid-card, and she's going to do it. I'm very excited. I am all on Big Red's train. I've always loved Zarya. The men's North American title, not the same. The men's North American title, Miles Bourne and Tavion Heights in a feud that is absolutely worthless. Neither guy, I think, has that it factor. I would like to see Mason Rook win the North American title. I would like to see a few other guys. Jackson Drake is my pick to be the next North American champ and then feud with Mason Rook. So we'll see what happens there. Now, we have the women's, actually, we'll go to the men's world title scene. Tony D'Angelo holding on to that division with an iron grip, which drives me nuts because Naraku, formerly Evil, lost the title match in his first big match, which is absolutely unacceptable. However, there is rumors that Hiromu is coming over, and we're going to see a lot of different things out of them. That men's world title scene is rough as well. The mid card is much better than the world title scene in the men's division. Now, on to the number one, the main event. Kendall Gray, the new women's champion on NXT, is the women's wrestler of the year. I'm giving it to you now. As of this year, as of so far, she is the best women's wrestler on the roster. She has come that far. She is Kurt Angle, 1998. She is everything that you want in a women's wrestler and a talent. She is now the women's champion. I would keep that belt on her until WrestleMania, and then I would have the switch over, and she would be on the night after WrestleMania as the Paige character who will come on and win the belt from one of those women right away. I am a huge Kendall Gray fan. The Night Shift is a huge Kendall Gray fan. The NXT women's division is in excellent shape. There might not be a better women's division in the entire wrestling world than the WWE NXT women's division. So that is the quick roundup. We have also Shiloh Hill is the Mr. NXT. There's a bunch of new guys they're introducing. Watch NXT every Tuesday night. It is the best show on television as far as entertainment factor and the nonsense they put out. And you can do nonsense on NXT. It works. So that is the roundup for this month.
Love it. Thank you so much.
Yep.
I all I heard was don't watch the men.
The men are struggling, man. It's struggling. The men are struggling. It is the men's division is struggling. They took all the top talent off and put them on Raw and SmackDown. So it is tough when you lose Trick, Ethan, Ricky Saints, Javon Evans, Obafemi. You have nothing left. You have to rebuild from the bottom. So they're trying their hardest to rebuild from the bottom.
Who from AEW can they
I would take if it was up to me, I would send Fraxium back down to let them win the tag titles and start to give those guys a rub. If it was up to me, I would say I also said at one point Ray Phoenix should probably challenge for the NXT men's title.
I would have put Ray Phoenix on NXT. That's who I would have put on there.
Yep.
But
I have no issues with them bringing over AAA guys, Dr. Wagner Jr. and Galeno. I like both of them.
Even
I like a lot.
Even Vikingo. I mean, I know that he's not as
Now
big
he's
as he was. I know. I meant like just generally, he wouldn't be the worst person to bring.
No, and that's the problem with Vikingo is you get these glimpses of some of the greatest things you've ever seen, and then he can't stay healthy. So that's a huge problem.
That is the shame. So then I think we kind of need to briefly go over the madness that was King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring.
No, thank you.
That's where we were because I know we had tournaments, and I don't want to go massively into it. Let's talk about the kind of the culmination of it. So Obafemi wins.
The right person won.
The right person won, so we were glad about that because there was a worry, there was a concern. Because the storyline, there is a storyline there for Jay and Cody, so it wasn't stupid for Jay to win. There is a story there. But then Brock attacks, and they have a really fun interaction on Raw. And we get Hell in a Cell, which we'll talk about in a second. But the minute I heard Obafemi give it away. Now, again, people online have been so stupid about this because they've been like going, I thought the whole point of King of the Ring was to get a title shot. SummerSlam is like, it is. He's giving it away. He's saying no. Like, he still has a title shot. It's not like they just decided to.
Yeah, but it wasn't always like that. It wasn't always the King of the Ring gets a title shot. I mean, like, why are we making out like this is a long-standing tradition of something? It's not.
Even if it's brand new to this year, right? Even if it's brand new to this year, people have been complaining about it. And I'm like, this wasn't like WWE set up a thing and then like they used to do a lot like, let's just forget that happened. It didn't happen. What do you want? No, it didn't. What do you mean? That guy who was saying he was going to take on The Undertaker and then didn't appear ever again. Who do you mean? Evan Hansen? What was it? What do you mean? I don't know. What was it? Haig Vanson. Doesn't exist. What are you on about? But so I have like a problem with people going, it's meant to be at SummerSlam. And I'm like, they've literally done it for the last 4 winners. They've all had a SummerSlam match. Io Sky's getting a SummerSlam match. Obafemi has given it away because he'd rather face Brock because he's so angry at Brock. It's literally was told to you on TV. Shut up. Again, have to moan at people who just want to moan and complain. I'm sick of people not having a brain. Do you remember when people had brains? Do you remember when we were smart? Do you remember that? I feel like everyone's a moron now. They're so angry that they just say angry things without actually sitting down to realize what they're angry about. Whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But, I have no problem with Oba essentially getting so angry he has to take on Brock. Okay? Bit gutting that he doesn't get the SummerSlam match. When do they do the title shot? Because Oba winning, let's say he wins the world title, but it's at Money in the Bank, doesn't feel as big a deal anymore. So I'm intrigued to see what the plan is. What do you
Let him
think?
stretch it. Stretch it out. I don't care when he fights for it. Just stretch it out.
Okay.
That's all.
Are you excited for Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar Hell in a Cell?
More than any match again on the entire card. Every time these two are going to go at it, I will always go back to my man Big E. Big meaty men bumping meat. That's all I want. I want it. Give me every guy. Give me Oba and Brock. I want 2 guys. This is the match that I've always wanted. I wanted a guy who could be as big as Brock. I thought Keith Lee was going to be that guy. You had Dijak, who could have been that guy. You have a bunch of guys who could have been the same size, and you didn't let him go. Now you're letting him go, and it is my favorite. Samoa Joe versus Brock was one of my favorites. Like, great
balls of fire that was.
Yeah. The stupid name of the show ruined the match, but give me the big meaty dudes beating each other up, and Obafemi is one of my favorites. So that is the number one reason why I'm going to watch SummerSlam. It's the number one reason why I'm excited for SummerSlam. It will always be, if you want to put those two against each other forever for me, I know Brock is old now. I'm good. Oh, that's the match. That's what I want. I don't care about the title right now.
I'm intrigued so much about it because Brock only does 5-minute matches.
He's going to bleed too. Brock is going to, it's his last match ever. He's going to bleed all over the place. It's going to be great.
I can see this main eventing as well. I really can.
Oh, yeah. Night one or night two. Night one, probably, I would say.
Probably night one, most likely. But I was looking at that going, it's just going to be intriguing to watch Brock. He has to wrestle longer. There's no point. You're not going to do a 2-minute Hell in a Cell.
They're going to do 12 to 15 minutes. Yes, they are. Yeah.
It's going to be great watching Brock actually get to wrestle a match that isn't just, L1, L1, L1. It's going to be great. So I am really excited for that. On the complete flip side, I couldn't give two figs about Io Sky versus Liv Morgan solely because I've already watched it.
And that's the problem. And hence lies the problem with WWE's booking. They never let things simmer. They always put the two people together. There's always been, they recycle things. They don't give you something fresh. That is the problem. You have all these women on the roster who this all could have went down, and instead we get the same match. So I honestly don't think Liv is losing the title anytime soon. It's disappointing. And I don't think you're doing anything. You're not doing anything with Io Sky except putting a crown on her head. I mean, that's all it is. And by the way, Oba didn't even come out with the crown when he went.
Oh,
so what's the point? But that's what I'm saying. What's the point? Just say, like, there's no point to King of the Ring anymore. Zero. No point.
I mean, he's called the Ruler. It's so simple. Like, you literally could have given him a variation. Do you remember Sheamus's red thing?
Yes, he had. But that also, to me, was everybody starting to get custom crowns was stupid. Yeah, just give him the Macho King was the best and last best King of the Ring winner. The Macho King.
King Booker.
King Booker. Yes, you're right. King Booker. Yes. But then all hail King Booker.
Then I probably would go back that far. I enjoyed Kurt Angle because he did it sillily for a little bit. But other than that, no. Oh, actually, tell a lie. I enjoyed Edge and Christian because they went away from Crown and went for big trophy that Christian carried around.
Trophy. Yes, the trophy was fun.
Edge. So that was fun. So they
but they didn't need it because he didn't get over anyway. It didn't mean anything.
They neither got over in that spot.
Meaningless. But Macho King and King Booker got them over beyond over. So put them in the next stratosphere.
I was just disappointed. Liv Morgan long title reign's a weird one because I agree and disagree, and I don't know what they're going to do because we've been calling for the Judgment Day to break up for what feels like an eternity now. That it's almost a joke, it's almost a meme sort of thing. And I thought that Liv might lose a title, get a bit angry, and that slowly disintegrates the group because, quite frankly, Raquel needs to move on her own. Roxanne needs to be a babyface and go on her own for a bit. I think she'll be great. And you either do those matches with Liv for the title or you don't because you don't want Raquel or Roxanne to either lose and or be champion. So I don't know what their plan is with that title because Liv, since winning the title, it's been a waste of time. Not Liv's fault. It's not Liv's fault at all. I'm not blaming Liv. I hate people who blame the person. But why didn't she have a feud? Why was she in Queen of the Ring? And now her big match at SummerSlam, which should be a big match. Liv Morgan versus Io Sky should be I've not really seen that. Let's go and do that. I've already seen it. I've already watched it. Liv Morgan isn't the best wrestler in the world. She isn't. She's good. She's solid. She isn't going to put on that much variety of matches. What's she going to do against Io Sky the second time is going to be different. I don't think she has that. We had two dichotomies of tag team divisions right now that I don't understand. I mean, if you want to throw the women in there, we've got three dichotomies right now. Let's start with the women. You've got Paige and Brie drifting. I'm done
with the women. There's nothing there there's no value to the women's tag team titles. Doesn't matter.
They are wasting Paige. Big, huge return. It was almost like they didn't have a plan. They didn't plan for. She wasn't supposed to be the tag title. No. They do something with it. And like Brie Bella was complaining that she only got 3 minutes, and I'm like, Brie, you don't want
give the tag titles to Fatal Influence and let's move on.
I don't understand. They're cooling off because they didn't book them. They came in super hot, super booing, and you're like, they clearly wanted to do Rhea versus JC at the SummerSlam. Probably not happening now because of Rhea. And even if it does happen, JC's called off because she lost.
By the way, that's there it is. And there's another example, and this is not hating, but Rhea Ripley is not healthy enough to ever. I love her. She's become just an attraction. You can't have her hold the title. She doesn't work. It's another one who doesn't work. Get in the ring. I know you're hurt again. Enough. If you can't stay healthy, we got to move the belt, and you got to start building new stars. JC Jane, if you're hurt again, let's be honest. I'm sorry. You're going to be just an attraction from now on. You're going to wrestle once a month. You can't be in the ring if you keep getting hurt. So let's give the belt to somebody who can. JC Jane wrestled every time on NXT, never got hurt. Let's give it to somebody who has a little durability right now, who can build back the credibility.
Do you not think the problem is, though, with all these main eventers getting hurt, it's because there's no house shows? You know, I was an advocate for house shows being depleted. I was a massive advocate for that, but not got rid of entirely.
Well, they don't make money anymore. That's the problem.
I know, but they're so helpful for the wrestlers.
You're right. But also the people who are injury prone are always going to be injury prone. And there's
I agree on that, but people are starting to become injury prone or injured because they ain't getting reps. There is definitely a this person isn't getting reps.
Okay.
A real feeling to that. And I like, because I think WWE, you could say about money, but this could be a really helpful thing for the fans community to put on a cheap ticket.
They used to say that too all the time. I watched an interview with, who was it? I think it was the Big Show when he was in WCW. He said, so I worked this guy for months on the house shows before we got on TV. Like, there is no reason why guys shouldn't be working each other to learn each other for months and months and then come out there and put on these amazing shows. And that's why the guys were so good at it, because they worked house shows for months. And it's unfortunate, but to be honest, a lot of the younger generation, they get hurt very easily because they're doing too much crap.
They're doing too much crazy stunts. You're absolutely right. That is another problem. I agree with. They're doing things that are not necessary. Like, look at the main eventers. Like, they don't. But
the problem with like a Rhea Ripley, and unfortunately it happens. She's on TV one week, you're getting all hyped up, and then she's gone for 3 weeks. And you're like, what happened? Like, well, you just don't even talk about her. And someone like Stephanie Vaquer, who's out injured also, like, the injuries are hurting how you're telling a story, and then they're hurting the long run. JC Jane, now the entire Fatal Influence is hurt. You know, as far as their image, they were red hot. Like, you can't keep telling me.
They get injured and then they wait, rather than just make a change.
Switch it up. Yeah, do something. The problem is, even at someone like Jade Cargill, she was hurt a bunch. Like, you can't keep injuring. You can't keep putting out people who are injury prone, who don't show up on TV the next week, and everything. Like, stop giving me guys who can't keep showing up. You need longevity. Vince understood that. Guys need to be there every week. You can't tell me I'm going to I'm sidelining you now for how long, because now all of a sudden you have a broken finger, or you have a concussion, or you have a broken arm, or unfortunately these things happen, but you got to move on. You got to move to the next bit to keep the show moving.
The problem is, you can just tell that there may be a TKO directive there, I feel, with someone like Rhea Ripley, because she is the number one seller of anything with women's division.
Okay, but you got to move you got to get the next person to have her chase.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm saying this is the reason this is happening.
Yeah, it's killing me.
It's killing me. The women's division right now is the best and the worst. It's incredible how they've done that, because they are best wrestlers and they're just not getting the story.
They get so red hot and then they cool off so fast. It's like they just take a bucket of ice water and they're just like, that's it. Let's go.
It's just not their fault. It's just so not their fault, because the minute they look at Io Sky versus Asuka. Like, that storyline got called off, but then they were given 20 minutes at the pay-per-view, and it was the match of the night. It was brilliant. It was the best thing. They're going, oh, amazing what happens when you actually give them the time and the opportunity. It's frustrating. But speaking of frustrating, these tag team titles are driving me up the friggin' wall. SmackDown, Damian Priest and R-Truth is awful.
It's worthless. And I don't want to like shit all over everything and be negative. So I'm going to skip these, because mentally there's no tag division, so there's nothing to talk about. There's no story there. You got rid of the Motor City Machine Guns. Fraxium is right there. Just give them the belts and let them do 10-minute bangers every week. I don't get it. I'm done with it. Like, I can't argue about it because it makes me upset. Let's go to something positive. Let's figure out something positive before we close up shop.
Oh, all I have is negative stuff, because
let's talk about the wrestler that maybe forgotten wrestler that I wanted to bring up.
All right, we'll skip ahead then. So we'll skip ahead
because I feel like if we do the tag titles, we're going to get negative, and I feel like we've already done enough as far as what we think is going on. I think the tag titles we can revisit next time.
But how about this then? Let's do a fun thing. We'll finish on Forgotten Star. We'll have that start finishing off. How about my general fact of the month? What do you want?
Let's do it.
I'll give you. Actually, I've got loads for next few months, so I actually give you an opportunity to pick which fact you would like. Would you like a Cody Rhodes fact, a Bloodline fact, or a Shield fact?
Shield fact. Shield.
Okay. Well, there's a little mini trivia then for you then, because they keep talking about all these titles these guys won. Who won the Grand Slam the quickest?
Ambrose.
Ambrose is the correct answer.
Yes.
He got there first, mainly because of the United States Championship. 1,736 days.
He was absolutely my favorite guy. Next one was, I think, Seth. I think because I don't think Roman Reigns was ever undercard. Like you would never call him an undercard.
Roman won the United States and the Intercontinental not far away from each other after his first world title run failed. And he's next. He was only 100 days off Dean.
Oh, wow.
1828. And then Seth is 1967 is how long it took Seth. That's how long it took him to win that, I assume, the United States of Cena. So there you go. There is your Shield.
And let me tell you something about the Shield. My absolute favorite match ever. Like, if you want to go do like a tag match, one of the absolute favorite matches for me, I'd say a top 10 match, was Shield versus the Wyatts.
It is in the Sam's Wrestling Hall of Fame already.
One of the greatest bits of told story WWE ever did. And one of the best things they ever did was allow those 6 men to go out there and do one of the craziest 6-man tag matches of all time.
It was so good. They knew that they were losing the Shield soon. They may not have told the Shield, but they knew they were losing the Shield backstage because they had the plans. Because obviously then it went into WrestleMania where they were wasted. Don't know what that was about. Took on New Age Outlaws and Kane.
Yeah, remember that?
And then they had their amazing Evolution couple of matches. So,
but that match with the Wyatts, it was one of the most satisfying watches ever. You just watch, you're like, yes.
Seth in that match was unreal. Like, I don't know how he had the fitness and the stamina to do what he was doing. Like, how many dives to the outside in a row was he doing? It was ridiculous.
So what they got out of Eric Rowan was probably the most impressive. Being able to get him to do and just to show off his athleticism and things. Yeah. I mean, it was when I speak so fondly of the years of the Shield. I never got tired of them. I never got tired of that 6-man feud. I love them. I loved Ambrose before he became goofball. I thought Ambrose was going to be the next Roddy Piper. Like, I just loved him, and
we did an entire bracket series, which is a tournament style thing where we try and decide as unbiasedly as we can, the greatest or the worst of something. And we actually did the greatest factions of all time, in every groups from WCW as well and all that jazz. And we had the Shield so high. I can't remember if they won or came runner-up. I feel they got to the final. That's how much we rated them. They were amazing. Phenomenal. And I'm glad you picked it because I want to talk about Shield. Should we have a quick little look at the in memoriam? Wrestlers. Again, just the one. You might know them more than I do. I have to admit, I'm not knowledge. Joe Doring, I think, died.
Yeah, Joe Doring was an indie.
Run for a couple of years.
He was a Japanese in New Japan. He was in TNA. He was, everybody spoke so highly of him.
Yes, they did.
It is an absolute shame. He actually recovered and then went back to wrestling, and then it came back. One of the better big men in the last 15 years in wrestling. And it affected a lot of talent, and it's very sad.
Yeah.
But yeah, we definitely in memoriam to Joe. He was a sight in Japan that people, didn't see for a while, and he did a lot of good things. And yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame.
And I'd also like to throw out that hopefully that JR gets through everything that he's going through, because I believe he's going to have brain surgery, I believe.
Oh, Jesus. I didn't know any of that. Yeah.
I think it's just been released himself. I haven't read into it, admittedly, so I haven't had time. So I think it literally got released just before I was coming onto here. I think I was reading it as I was scanning. So hopefully everything goes well with JR. Still the greatest commentator of all time. He won our greatest commentator brackets by quite a comfortable margin, to be honest. It wasn't even in doubt.
Yeah.
So I hope he gets as well as he possibly can. So we're going to finish off, because we always like to finish off. Me and you like to reminisce. We're reminiscers. We can't help it. We have a glow about us that just likes to be wistful. So we either do one or two things. We pick a random year and try and come up with something to chat about, or one of us brings a forgotten star that they would like to talk about. And it's JGold's turn. JGold, who is the forgotten star that you would love to have?
We're going way back, but the forgotten star, not necessarily the guy before him, who he is, but the forgotten star is former WWF wrestler Waylon Mercy.
Could you say that again? You just cut out slightly.
Former WWF superstar Waylon Mercy. Remember Waylon Mercy? So
Bray Wyatt inspiration.
Waylon Mercy, Danny Spivey. Danny Spivey at one point was considered one of the greatest wrestlers and talents in wrestling. Part of the Skyscrapers. He wrestled with so many guys. Dangerous Danny Spivey. And the Skyscrapers with Teddy Long was his manager. He was with Sid Vicious as the Skyscrapers. They wrestled
the Undertaker then afterwards.
So
the Skyscraper, didn't he though?
He was, but I think that was a different. Oh yeah. So what happened was so when Sid broke punctured his lung, they needed to bring someone in, and Teddy Long brought in this newcomer, Mean Mark Callis. So that was it. But Danny Spivey was probably Waylon Mercy had such potential, and they capitalized off of that movie Cape Fear with Robert De Niro.
Yes.
And Danny Spivey's eyes and the way he sold when he came in the ring, he would shake the referee's hand. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Referee, and just flip a switch. And if he never had that back injury, you might have seen Waylon Mercy as the world champion at a point, because Danny Spivey could move. He could do things. Yeah, he could more than anybody. He could talk, and if it wasn't for getting hurt, I think Danny Spivey would have been probably a world champion in the late 80s, early 90s when WWF was struggling.
Well, wasn't he the Waylon Mercy character 93 when Raw kind of
correct? So he wrestled. So he was in WWF in 1995 as Waylon Mercy. Okay,
and was it 95? Was it that?
Yeah,
yep. Raw run? Wow.
Yep. When they started to crater in Raw, and Raw was kind of shitty, but he wrestled.
It was shitty from the moment it started. What are you on about? It sucked.
Yeah, he wrestled. he used a sleeper hold, which I thought was always cool, and he would get those eyes and be like and just choke you out. But he wrestled Jeff Hardy, Bob Holly when he was Sparky Plug, the 1, 2, 3 kid, Doink the Clown. And then he started wrestling against the real talent. He had a feud with Bret Hart. He had a feud with Razor Ramon. He had a feud with Diesel as champion. And unbelievably, his only pay-per-view appearance was at an In Your House 3, where he lost to Savio Vega. And so I was
going to say, because I know quite a bit about Waylon Mercy, because I don't think anyone did until Bray Wyatt appeared.
Yeah.
And suddenly everyone put the connection together, because essentially Bray Wyatt's initial character is based off Waylon Mercy. It's a complete ripoff, really, in the grand scheme of things, that Bray then made it his own. Do you think, though, that someone let's take the injury out. Okay, take the injury out. And it isn't a spell when nothing's happening in WWE. So you could take a punt, but they never took a punt on anybody. Do you think Vince would get his character, or was it too far ahead of its time?
That was Vince's character. I think that was Vince's idea. They based it on Max Cady. Yeah, and I think Vince really loves, and that's why he loved Bray Wyatt. I think Vince used to love the psychopath, the supernatural, the swamp preacher, the former inmate. That was Vince. Vince loved that crap. And I think Danny Spivey as Waylon Mercy would have succeeded immensely if he could have stayed healthy, because he was such a talent physically Vince loved that. A guy 6'9", you could have had longevity. He could have had longevity like Undertaker. He could have. They were the same age, basically.
People really don't realize how big he was either.
He was massive.
You've seen pictures of him. They've seen videos of him mainly doing his promo stuff.
He was long. His legs were huge. Like, he was just a big dude. And if it was up to me, that's the gimmick. That I don't know why I was always, even Bray Wyatt, the original Bray Wyatt in NXT, I always gravitated towards that kind of gimmick. And it's not supernatural when Bray Wyatt was just a crazy swamp preacher. Yeah, I like that. I liked Waylon Mercy. I thought Waylon Mercy was so sick, like just like the craziness to flip the switch. That gimmick, you get me. Like, even I like the Righteous. Like, I think the Righteous is the fact that Dutch comes out, with the big smile and the he's got the suspenders, and you have Vincent, the crazy like Charles Manson. That I like. You can get me with all that stuff. But Waylon Mercy was the first when I was a kid that I was like, this guy's nuts. I love him. And then he disappeared off TV because he was injured and he never got back. But God bless him. That's my guy for the week.
This is why I like this, because I like most of Sam's on Wrestling is just mainly talking about the past and nostalgia and all that stuff.
Yeah,
I love that sort of thing. So if you are someone who loves nostalgia and you love that type of thing, first of all, go follow one at the Main Event Wrestling Network and go give us a subscribe as we push towards 400. We need way more than that. Essentially, we've got all the affiliate channels. I've got some decent subscriber numbers, but we got to get this where we do lots of the mixers. We've got plenty of mixers coming up over the next few weeks, from Saturday night's main events to the SummerSlam. We'll have a mixer, I think, on night 1 and on night 2.
Yep.
I may be hosting one of them. I'm not sure. So I'll be at least there. JGold, what have we got this month for people to look forward to on the IW guide?
So IW guide, we had Isaiah Broner a few weeks ago, so you can check that out. We reviewed Neo Pro Wrestling this weekend, which is what we're recording, but where we are, go online and watch AIW's Absolution. That is their WrestleMania every year. And we are going to be watching. I think we're going to have Violence is Forever on this month. We have a lot of things going on. So check out the Indie Wrestling Guide. There's always something. Check out the Night Shift every Tuesday night. We're live, people. So come on and join us. And it's just going to be an exciting summer for the Main Event Network.
Go and check out everyone at the Main Event Wrestling Network. Honestly, there's so many amazing shows going on right now. Sam's on Wrestling. If you also don't know about me, I have my own channel with Baby Sam. That is an affiliation with the Main Event Wrestling. It's on my own YouTube channel and TikTok. A video every Tuesday, every Thursday, and every Sunday, 6 p.m. UK time. So whatever that is in America. But I tell you what, you'll like some of the shows we've got literally in the next couple of weeks. You'll like some of these. Just recently out, we've just reviewed WWF Invasion from 2001, which is exactly.
Oh Lord!
You know
Lordy.
You know what came out yesterday though? We power ranked, where we grade wrestlers out of 10 in 10 different wrestling categories. The Great Khali. We looked into the Great Khali, but things that are coming up over the next few weeks, some of these you're like, no, we're gonna have a conversation on what wrestling match do you show a brand new fan. What's the match you do? We have a massively long half-an-hour discussion because I got fans to send in their ideas, and they're all wrong. They're all wrong.
Wait, now my brain's working. So all right, so we're gonna go over this too. Yes, one day we
will talk about this. So I've got that video's coming out on the 14th. So it'll come out tomorrow. But we will. I think it'll be definitely a talking point that we can do after that video's come out. We're going to determine what is the greatest match from every single SummerSlam. And then, with all those winners, we're going to do a giant bracket to determine what is the greatest SummerSlam match of all time.
Greatest of all time.
Yeah, so a massive two-parter. We've got a SummerSlam quiz that's been made for us by a fan, so we're going to be attempting that. And finally, we've got a controversial episode coming out on the 21st. And I can tell you now, mine is about Goldberg and the Elimination Chamber from 2003. I have a controversial opinion about that. And I can tell you the controversial opinion is, I don't mind it. So we'll get into that. That is what's happening in a couple of weeks over on Sam's Wrestling. Go check that out. Go follow everybody at the Main Event Wrestling Network. Let's get some subscribers going. Give us a share. Let's get it around. We will be here every single month. Our next video will probably be not long after SummerSlam. I think we're going to do a post-SummerSlam Transatlantic Pop, so we can go over everything that happened there. So it'll probably be a week after the SummerSlam, probably the Monday after SummerSlam, most likely, not the day after. The week after, we'll probably have. And then we'll have another one the Monday, again, the week after, All In, AEW All In. We'll have more of an AEW show because I will be at All In. I've got tickets to the show.
Yeah, nice.
We'll have a big conversation about that. So thank you very much for joining us. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. This is the Transatlantic Pop episode 3 on the Main Event Wrestling Network. Say goodbye, JGold.
Goodbye.
And I am Sam, Elder Sam, from Wrestling. We'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.
See you.
What up, though? You already know what it is. Best in the world, aka The Problem. Isaiah Broner. And you watching the Main Event Wrestling Network.